As the International, one of the biggest gaming events of the year is almost upon us, I thought it'd be fitting to dive into esports for an episode. Now, I do play Dota, but I've never been really that good at it. I'm always getting ganked. Not recommended. 0 out of 10. But anyway, I've always wondered what makes competitive esports so popular. I mean, look at last year's Dota 2 International. Last year's team Newbie won over $5 million from finishing first. Actually, the top 3 teams walked out with over $1 million each from the International. With that, this year's International prize pool is growing by the second and will outshine the 2014 Internationals by a long shot. But with all this money being thrown around, it got me thinking, why are esports so popular? I knew I was gonna need help with this episode, so I asked my friend Macavity to help me understand competitive play a bit better.
What's going on, guys? My name is the Semi-Angry Gamer, aka Macavity, and it is great to be here today.
So without further ado, today on the New Age Gamers, we're gonna dive into esports and learn why they are so popular.
Before we go any further, let's make a quick list of games that are played competitively on a major scale. For RTS, you get games like StarCraft and WoW! For FPS, you can get games like Counter-Strike or Battlefield. And for MOBAs, you get some of the most popular games being played, games like Dota and League of Legends. Now, what do these games have in common?
Many games that are played competitively have a limited lore to them. Now, before you go and dislike this video, I said many. Yes, I know StarCraft has an excellent lore, but let me get to the point here. You don't need to know the lore in order to understand the game. The game does not function on the lore alone. Look at Dota, for example. Each character has a backstory and lore, but does it really matter? Does it matter that Wraith King is trying to find immortality, or Clockworth's goal in the game is to avenge his dead father? No, because it does not affect the gameplay. Some games like Counter-Strike even go around lore completely to get straight to the gameplay. In Counter-Strike, the lore can be explained in one sentence. The terrorists are bad. Go stop them. Now, how does this relate to the popularity of a game? This allows people to just jump into playing or just watching the game right away, because they don't need to understand the lore, just the mechanics of the game.
Another reason people can jump into these games with ease is the low system requirements. Some games that are played competitively can be run on most computers because they are older games. Case in point is the original Dota that was released in 2003 and was played competitive for years. Look at League of Legends, for example. League has very low system requirements, such as 2 GHz processor, 1 GB of RAM, 750 megabytes. Even better, look at the requirements for the original Dota. It only needed 1.3 GHz, 256 megabytes of RAM, and 550 megabytes of hard disk space. So with this, almost anyone can play a MOBA on a computer, and making it easier to get into the game.
With esports, you see the rise of clans and teams. With that, you're rooting for a team over a person. So if you don't like a player, you can still root for the team. This is the same for many other traditional sports such as baseball or football. With that, there's the rise of the team mentality, that we're all in this together rather than the individual. Esports teams may have different branches, like a group that plays Dota as while another group plays Counter-Strike. This creates diversity in what games a team can be played with. For example, my favorite team is Na'Vi. Na'Vi not only plays Dota, but plays other esports like Counter-Strike and World of Tanks. Doing this creates fans in other games, other than just one game like traditional sports would. You don't see the Chicago Cubs playing hockey, do you? Though, they might just do better.
Okay, so we've established that Brody is a Na'Vi fangirl. Yes, but we have one more issue that we need to talk about. Why people like to watch esports. People aren't playing along with their favorite team, so why are people passively watching these games? It comes down to how easy it is to watch them. In traditional sports, you would have to have a cable subscription or a different type of subscription to watch your favorite baseball or basketball games, and in certain cases, you would have to get an entire package through your cable provider just to watch certain games. While esports, on the other hand, most of the games are online for free on sites like Twitch, Hitbox, or YouTube, and inside the games of Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, they actually have large interfaces to watch online matches, which is all centralized. So, if you wanted to watch the aforementioned Na'Vi, All you would have to do is just look up Navi games, and you would have a large library of games presented to you. Valve and Twitch really figured out a way to bring games home to the user compared to hunting for it on 100 cable channels like traditional sports.
It is interesting to think that in the span of a couple decades, society went from video games being a waste of time to having multi-million-dollar grand prizes. This tendency is on the rise. There are even schools dedicated to mastering esports now. In some nations, esports are considered equal, if not greater, than normal sports. Like in China, the general administration considers it equal to other sports like tennis. In China and South Korea, esports are shown on national TV like normal sports are. Will we ever reach this point one day in the United States? Maybe. Just remember last year's internationals were shown on ESPN. Esports is gaining popularity worldwide, and with that simple lore, limited system requirements, and the ability to root for a team over an individual, creates a catalyst for esports to grow. And on that note, this is Brody and the New Age Gamers.
With the help of Macavity, wishing you a great day.